All aboard. Welcome aboard to Good Chats, everybody. Good Chats 149. I've been doing this for 149 weeks, and I think now we have reached a grand total of 5 weeks in a row that I may have managed to turn the microphone on at the beginning. So, welcome aboard, everybody. Um, Smart as marbles, thank you. Outdoors Types #1 ticket holder, and Outdoors Types #2 ticket holder, the van couple as well. Brian, thanks for coming on board, man. Actually, I've got the chat up here tonight, so I don't have to. I'm experimenting with that. G'day, Noel. Welcome aboard. Thanks for checking in on the test earlier. I believe I have the video sorted this week. G'day, Steve Klink. Welcome aboard. Um, okay, this is really cool. G'day, Dave Simmons. Welcome aboard. Graham, thanks for checking in earlier too. Oh, JK, welcome aboard. Um, I've Heather was talking about, and I don't know if Heather's here yet, but Heather was talking about adding moderators before. So if you wonder what's going on with the message I sent you, Van Couple, I've added you guys as moderators as well. I'd add you as a moderator, JK, but you don't have a YouTube channel, man. Or maybe you do. I don't know. Send me the deets. G'day, Ree. Welcome aboard. Um, so, yeah, earlier on I shared a link in the chat. I don't know if y'all can scroll back and have a look, but North Adelaide Station looks like it's getting some new tenants in the form of a creative collective, so that will be interesting. G'day, Luke. Welcome aboard. um, so I have this thing about like people that I've met, like and I've met a couple of times or whatever, and I think it's really important. So maybe if I end up finally getting that popular, that I end up getting trolled. That used to happen. It doesn't happen so much anymore. Y'all know what to do with that. Oh, g'day, Boeing expert. Welcome aboard. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Smart as Marbles. I really appreciate it, man. That is really awesome. So here we are on Good Chats, and one of the things I will explain is that I've had a cold this weekend, so please forgive me. I'm still coming down off that cold. Father's Day was fun because it's Father's Day, but it was not fun. I think it may have even been COVID or something. I don't know. So I'm still a bit. Any rate, welcome aboard. What have y'all been up to? Let me know what you've been exploring, what you've been seeing this week. If there's anything I should go and check out as well, please let me know. Oh, g'day, Heather. Welcome aboard. As always, that is a big part of Good Chats. I always learn so much more from what's going on out there with the chat room crew. Sometimes I think that I present here, but we'll see how we go. It's been a long time since I've been sick, so I'm not really up for that. Um, um, Getting over that has been a bit average, but still, it came good enough today to go to town and do the reception thing with the Lord Mayor at the town hall, which was very swish. I've been very proud to be a part of the outdoors and the walking community in South Australia for freaking ages. So that was an interesting to be back at Adelaide Town Hall for an official reception again for another outdoors related thing. So that's pretty cool. It's been pretty crappy weather this week as well. I did make it down to the Railway Museum yesterday. Again, I've been swishing around trying to stay away from people because I'm a bit sick, but as soon as I could get back out there, I got down to the museum. And I think you probably know me by now, Smart as Marbles. I tend to go in and out, a bit ninja. Get what I want and get out again. JK. I looked at the dress code and it's like business suit or day dress, and I don't know what a day dress was until I looked it up, and I'm like, well, I'm not wearing a dress. The once a year business suit comes out. Yeah, there's always an open invite. Please to send me stuff, people, to Outdoors Type on Facebook, or Outdoors Type on Instagram, or just email it, mikeyg at outdoorstype.com.au. Or even just tell me about it here, and I'll see what I can find and drag up about it for next week. G'day, Andy Munro. Welcome aboard. It's great to see your coverage of those country grand finals, Andy. Go and check out Andy's channel, and the country grand finals he's been covering lately, man. That Roper guy, what a legend. Yeah, Adelaide may be a bit flu infested at the moment, particularly if I'm getting it. I haven't had a cold for about a year now, so yeah. What are we doing tonight? I'm all out of questions tonight because I've been stuck with cold, but I have been doing lots of research. I've been reaching out to the ARHS and the Museums of History in New South Wales, and just really starting to get right into my research for the New South Wales and Queensland lines, identifying images, identifying all the locations, finding my research sources, and starting to put stories and research documents together. So it's been interesting. I know, right, Zach? Zach mentioned that earlier about the National Railway Museum. Well, I've got all the footage I think I need now for the Adelaide to Port Dock line video, right? But I'm going to put it all together over the rest of the week, and I probably will need to cap it off. So I guess this weekend for the Model Railway Show might be as good a weekend as any. I don't think I've got anything on at this point in time other than editing or researching. I mentioned that earlier. Somebody is moving into, there's an art collective. I'll put the link in there. There's going to be hairdressing and lots of hair and vintage retail stuff and people with massive boots and stripy clothes. It'll be really hipster, and I think it'll be a great opportunity to get in there and have a look around. Who knows, I might do a live stream finally from within the North Adelaide railway station, which is, I think it's the second oldest surviving railway related building in Australia. That's that one. Next, I did want to do a shout out to members and stuff like that. I wanted to talk about that a little bit too. I'm going to talk about it a lot for the next month or so, and I'll tell you why. Bone expert, I am in Adelaide, and I have thought of riding on the Garn, the Indian Pacific, or the Great Southern, but as we don't, as a couple, currently have about $8,000 to $10,000 to drop on a holiday. So I would love to go on a ride on the Garn, or the Indian Pacific, or the Great Southern. But yeah, man, like Brian said, far out, man. No, that's not something that people who care about money can afford, basically. That's why I always find the tsunami of look at me on the Indian Pacific videos mildly amusing, because why post a video? You've got tons of money. Yeah, back in the day they used to have Red Kangaroo. They used to have seated cars and stuff like that for the plebs for a little while, but no, these days they're just full first class cruisers on rails. At any rate, I won't get into it too much, because who wouldn't seriously want to do that? The members incentive, right, is what I wanted to talk about. So one of the reasons I started the membership, right, is because YouTube is offering a massive $800 incentive just to start memberships, right? Another reason is that for each member that signs up in the next month, or between now and the 5th of September, YouTube will actually pay me an $8 bonus for each member that signs up. So there's never been a better time, obviously, for me to start memberships. And if anyone was going to sign up for memberships, and even the 21 other random people, I haven't even told you what this thing is about yet, but here we are. 5th and the 9th. Yeah, it's October. Yeah, 5th and the 9th. That would be October. Yeah. Um, yeah, they're going to pay another $8 per member for that, and I'm already got I'm not skeptical about this. I already got confirmation that it's happening. Um, you're a very lucky man, Gant. You're a very lucky man, J.K. Maybe it was a bit cheaper back then. I don't know, in 2005, or maybe it wasn't. Uh, but yeah, it's certainly something that people save up for, or people who I guess come across a bunch of money that they would go for. They would love to do that. But at any rate, here I am talking about let's do the $8 a membership thing. Let's just. It kind of sounds really like small beans compared to riding on the Indian Pacific. But that's why I'm going to push it, and that's why I'm going to talk about it a lot over the next few weeks. G'day, Spratty. Welcome aboard. Like I said, purely the reason is that if somebody signs up for a $4 membership, I end up getting $10.50. All right, so why wouldn't I spruik that for a month for what it's worth? I'm going to get my whole family to bloody sign up, and we're all ahead as a household. So anyway, that's just how it works. Here's me touting for $12, and maybe one day, if in just $12 increments, I'll slowly make my way to a ticket on the Indian Pacific. um, I have ridden on a couple of trains. I've ridden on the Overland, like you, Brian, but I thought that was a bit shit, to be honest with you. I used to ride on the XPT. Chuck it on top. Chuck it on top. We'll do a bit of train riding. That's classic. Yeah. So anyway, that's why I have my Word document, because I've just kind of lost what I'm doing again. So that's what I've been up to this week. Yeah, it's having a cold, doing mad research. I've got 10 Word documents now. I've got, from locations like Yayavol to the Murwillumbah line to the Hay to Junee line, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm getting my Word documents together. Like I said, I'm getting my research sources together. It's really cool having a ARHS membership, Australian Railway Historical Society membership. That means that I can, one of the techniques I've developed actually, is to go to Wikipedia, and instead of actually reading the Wikipedia, I actually scroll straight down to the bottom and go to the references. And I'll look. Yeah, I think I don't know. We had a chat the other day, Brian, and I think we've had similar experiences with the old XPT. Overnight trips between Melbourne and Sydney, and then the daytime trips to Coffs Harbour and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm researching things like the North Coast Mail and the North Coast Motor Rail, and I actually do remember as a kid taking trips from Central Station in Sydney up to Coffs Harbour on an overnight train that had like wooden carriages. Like, I've still got this picture in my head, and seriously, some of the carriages down at the National Railway Museum remind me of some of my first railway experiences on overnight trains and stuff. I reckon the Overland would be heaps better as a sleeper train, and I reckon the XPTs are just about to get superseded anyway. They're building some crazy new model thing. One of the things as I was doing my research too, and this is weird thing about researching images and searching images and all that stuff. Sometimes I only find once I'm actually like a couple of weeks into searching images on a subject, some other links start to, what's the word for it? I start to discover other links. They start to be unearthed to me by Google or whatever. 4 times gone. Jesus Christ. You should link them all together, JK, in one train and make them do the train thing. So anyway, I was talking about image searching, and I came up with his name's Peter Liebeskind, but his Dunny Do or June Do. If you know the town, you know the name. That's his handle on Flickr. Flickr can sometimes be a really interesting image source, although there's a lot of people who use who put up their own photos. Flickr's like this whole thing for a whole generation of people, right? This whole crew of people, this whole another site. It's like Discord or all these other ecosystems, and Flickr's one of them. And obviously, I pay attention to the copyright, and so when it's interesting because this guy's gone out and taken a whole bunch of photos in the 80s of all of these lines around New South Wales and whatnot. Yeah, you got it with research, particularly with image research. So this guy turned up. I sent him a message. One thing you got to remember with Flickr, and one thing I always do is check when their last post was. It was like 7 years ago, and they're probably not going to check their Flickr mail very often. But if it was the other day or the other week or whatever, then they probably will check their Flickr mail. And lo and behold, I just asked for permission, with credit, of course, to use some of his images in some of my upcoming videos and research. And he got back to me really quick. And so from time to time, things really work, and people are actually really interested in sharing some work. So I got images of some of the railway station buildings at places like North Star and Boggabri, and Krubel and Boggabilla, and these places aren't really images like these just weren't available on the ARHS or on Museums of History in New South Wales. So that was a cool plus for this week. Reaching out to people and asking them to if I can use their interesting work in my videos really does work. High-speed railway. Oh, great. Let me guess. High-speed railway. Yeah, I don't know if a high-speed railway should go... Oh, I don't know. I don't even want to get into the concept. Australia's not getting a high-speed railway anytime soon. That's for damn sure. So upcoming videos, I've, like I said earlier, I've pretty much finished my blue screen of death on the laptop. I'm lucky I'm not using that for the chat. Yeah, pretty much doing all the research for that. I've pretty much done all the shooting. It's all been really grey weather, so it's going to be a bit of a grey and wet, wintry kind of video. But you know what? Winter is kind of grey and wet, so that's just the way it is. I was going to maybe show some video about the D cabin. I managed a bit of a drone flight in between the showers yesterday. So, you know, but I just ran out of time to do that. Look back. I was going to play the video that's in the magic window because I've been trying to do this for 2 weeks now. I need another bloody counter that says weeks I've been trying to make my video run smoothly. So, yeah, the number of weeks that I've remember to turn the mic on at the beginning of the stream is now 5 weeks, and I'm going to now transition to the Finsbury line video that I've been trying to show for the last 2 weeks, and I've shut up, Dan. Third time lucky. Here we go. I've worked on this, man. I hope it bloody works. G'day, John. Welcome aboard. The Finsbury railway line was a short railway, actually more of a siding, in northwestern Adelaide that was built and used mainly for wartime industrial works in 1940 and 1941. It ran from Woodville through Woodville North, Pennington and Ottaway before joining the Dry Creek to Port Adelaide line. The line had heaps of sidings and 4 stations: Hackdill, Woodville North, Number 18 Shed and Finsbury stores. It closed in 1979 and was dismantled in 1985. Before we get into it, it's worth a look at this aerial photo of the Holden factory sheds at Woodville, apparently taken in 1939. The outer harbour line crosses the top of the scene. The Henley Beach railway line can be seen diverging from Woodville on the right and crosses Port Road in the lower right. Thanks for your support,
Holden's
guys.
station is visible just
Good
after
chat.
the junction. The big open area at
G'day,
the
Graham.
top left is the Cheltenham Racecourse, and you can just see the Finsbury line running between it and the Actil factory at the top of the image. Look closely and you can even see Actil Station. The water tower at the top left of the image is still there today.
Let's go see what we can find of the old Finsbury line in 2023. I'm learning it's basically impossible to talk over the bits in the video where I'm already talking. I think I need to add a bit more down volume to the ducking. It's been cool, no? So this would be the area where the Finsbury line kind of ran from its own platform and then headed northwest. This area that used to have the massive Actil factory is now all taken up by a brand new suburb which includes the Cheltenham Racecourse called St Clair. But basically it's now all walking paths and brand new houses. The Outer Harbour line is obviously very much more heavy duty than it used to be, but any traces of the old lines have gone. Yeah, the whole talking over talking thing is very confusing. That would help. I'm going to turn the ratio up more. We're right here in the middle of all the old munitions complexes. You can still see all the old sawtooth sheds that are here. In this tight little space here, you can still see some of the rails embedded in the concrete, which would have been part of the sidings. Let's check it out. I don't know if that's improved the levels a bit, Noel. Welcome to my live stream where I kind of use the audience to help me fine tune my audio. I might just turn the ratio up just a little bit more. Well, I've travelled through the Rosewater section. Alright, thanks Van Couple. I'll just turn it up a little, turn the ratio up a little bit more and see what that does. Now is a corridor of new houses having been built. Even a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, the vacant space of the railway still remained. The tempo of development in this area has just increased since then, and every trace has been erased. Okay. I reckon maybe the tutorial I used had me turning the ducking ratio down a little bit too much.
And thanks for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. The Finsbury railway line was a...
Okay, well, let's, bugger that one off for now. Thank you. I might do this again with the the other video I had planned line up for tonight, and that was the Glenray to Dorigo one, because I did want to show you that as we're coming up to the big trip where I'll be back up that way in less than a month, actually. And while I'm doing that, it kind of helps me adjust these settings. So what I'm going to do is just select the other one, because here's the other one I've had trouble playing, and this will give me another little bit of a break as well, and a bit of a chance for us to have a bit of a play around with the settings as we do. Yeah, that area around Finsbury is really so interesting, and I got the chance to visit there again on Saturday and introduce that line a little bit in the video that I'm doing on the Port Dock line. So that's the reason why I shared that one, and I'll be headed up to Coffs Way. I'll be up around Coffs on the 7th of October. Anyway, here's the video I did, nearly 2 years ago now.
Welcome back to Outdoors Type, and welcome to Glenray. We're here at the Glenray Mountain Railway to start our explore of the Glenray to Dorigo railway line.
Hey Josh.
The last train to run along this section of line, at least, was sometime around 2005. We're going to go exploring the length of this line as it winds its way up the Dorigo escarpment to Dorigo on the Dorigo Plateau. So stick around and enjoy. The Dorigo railway line branched from the North Coast line at Glenray in the Pacific hinterland of northern New South Wales and took a winding 69-kilometre path to Dorigo on the Dorigo Plateau. It opened in 1924 and effectively closed after flood damage in 1972. Timber was the main revenue source, but the Dorigo line was one of the costliest branch railways built in New South Wales. There were 2 tunnels, 13 sidings and stations, and many bridges. Dorigo Station and Yard are currently used to store Dorigo Steam Railway and Museum's large rolling stock collection. The DSRM has plans to one day run trains from Dorigo to Megan and open their collection to the public. The station at Glenray remains, although the old signal gantry and once iconic water tank are gone, and the Glenray Mountain Railway maintains a small fleet of rolling stock in their shed at a location sometimes known as Glenray West. From the hot hinterland of the North Coast to the cool climbs of the plateau, let's begin our journey here at Glenray, alongside the modern North Coast line.
And I think what's happening here, Noel, too, is as my practice evolves, I'm getting better at managing sound levels, and sometimes sound levels in the videos work really well, sometimes they don't, and then now on the live stream it's interacting with another sound input, which is the mic. I think the main thing for me, though, is as long as I don't break anyone's ears, which I have done from time to time, I apologise. I had to stop this shot early because I didn't want to read what was coming up, graffitied on Glenray railway station. Oh, look, I think graffiti has a place to play in culture, but some of it's just shit. Good question, Noel. No, I just use the OBS audio mixer. So right now in the OBS audio mixer, I've got my mic input and I've got my vid input, essentially. And And then I've got desktop audio. It took me years to work out to just turn that off. That just comes by default. But no, I'm not that technical. I have another whole mixer. That's great that you got in touch with them, Boeing expert. I think more people should reach out to these places and not make up bullshit stories about them, and actually just reach out to them and ask them what's going on and go and present things the way they are, instead of just commenting on it without knowing anything about the situation.
Welcome to the Glenray Mountain Railway Shed.
But
this collection
that's
has been
basically
housed
what
here
they
for
said
many
2 years
years.
ago
There's a couple
too.
of carriages and
I think it's
engine
basically
and
what they said
a lot
20
of
years ago.
railway memorabilia of the Glenray to Dorrigo Mountain Railway. I've been very kindly let in by one of the volunteers here. If you'd like to get access to it, then reach out to them on Facebook or the web, and please consider joining and supporting the preservation of all of this railway history when so little remains. We're going to go for a bit of an explore around, so stick with us and enjoy.
They gave me a copy of this when I was up there as well. I was just like so like chuffed. He was just like, hey dude, have a copy of this. Who doesn't love free books, right? Oh, hey, talking about free books.
Grand old view through the old passenger carriage, all the way through to the firebox of the engine up the front.
Remember that one, Noel?
It's just amazing what they've got preserved here.
That'll go down in the other time somebody gave me a free book to research from. With magic mushrooms, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Excuse me for just a sec.
Some of the line trolleys. I think we've seen some of these in social media posts on outings at places like Loanna.
Yeah, right. Yep, they had those same style carriages, Noel, that I remember travelling to Coffs Harbour in overnight once. This is how I knew that the line would be here, because more often than not, on that the telegraph
to
line would
Timbertop.
run alongside the railway line for signalling and communication purposes. But there's very little left up here. Brooklana's coming up soon, but I think we're sort of heading towards Brooklana now. This was 2023 Boeing X, but this is as close as I could get to Brooklana in this section here. Some parts of it are just not as publicly accessible as before, and that Timbertop bit I was seriously on forestry tracks, and I got to the point where I had to actually get out of my car and think, well, if I get my car over this giant rut, I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to be able to get it back over this rut, and I kind of need it to get back to Adelaide, so I had to stop at a certain point. Well, here we are at Lowana. This is a bit of a base of operations as well for the Glenray Mountain Railway. You'll see a workshop out there. The building is all locked up, but there's still things in the buildings. There's still a little signal box with some of the signal handles behind me, and some bits and some of
pieces
the water
remaining,
ruts up there.
well.
Obviously, those
you
forestry
can walk up onto
roads
the platform and have a bit of a look around.
only get repaired when there's forestry
look, of course,
happening.
But don't touch. There's still a fair bit
So
remaining.
yeah,
around
they
here.
weren't in great condition. So I didn't quite make it to Timbertop. I remember going on the zigzag as a kid, Brian. Exceptionally vague memories now as a 52-year-old, but I lose track. Yeah, but that zigzag line's pretty damn crazy. I'd love to share it, Noel, if you want to send it to me. I'd love to share other people's perspective on these locations. That sounds super interesting, Brian. Spratty D, if you haven't already, then check out the Hairy Legs Tracks overlay. Well, you may already know of that overlay for Google Earth, which I use a lot for old rail routes. I actually traced this line twice before this, so this video is made up of probably 3 traces along the line, as is my usual process. Is where I kind of go the first time and I miss heaps of places, and then I go the second time and I miss a few less places, and then the third time I go there and I finally miss only just a couple of places. And I met Keith up at Dorrigo, but I just, at that point in time, didn't have time to do the full, oh hey Keith, do you want to go for a tour kind of thing. Oh yes, that one, Brian. That's a different zigzag to the Blue Mountain zigzag. Yeah, no, cool, man. Or nearby, or somewhere nearby. That is a really interesting story, man. Thank you for remembering that to me. If you're down with railway history as well, I recommend you highlight Brian's comment there and cut and paste it into your browser. And there's another rabbit hole for you, Noel. Oh, you know it already. the reason I love this line, the reason I love exploring this line is I'm an old New South Wales and Coffs Harbour kid at heart. And even though I'm essentially Adelaide born and bred in terms of how long I've been here, yeah, places like Dorrigo, Coffs Harbour, Bellingen, they're all pretty much in my top 3 places to retire at. That'd be great. Such a beautiful country. Which, incidentally, I know about as well as the Adelaide Hills.
Well, we've just passed the site of Lee, which is the highest station or siding on the Glenray to Dorrigo line, and we're just about to head to the Bealsdown River Bridge and then to Dorrigo, and we'll put the drone up and have a bit of a look around there.
I consider you, Noel, very lucky, borrowing expert, Noel, to live in and around Coffs Harbour. Yeah, Megan's very much private property now. More of my relatives, one of my uncles, I think, had a property up at Megan for many years, but I missed out on it. No, I spent a lot of time with my family, driving and holidaying around these areas. Later, when I was a bit of a teenager, sort of getting up to no good. Been to a couple of raves out that way back in the day. And then coming back again as an adult with a bit more of a focus on railways and history. So I've got a long history with this place. Maybe next time, or in one of the few next times, because next month won't be the last time I'll be in Coffs. Maybe I'll organise a trip to Dorrigo finally and get into the museum and have a look around. You are indeed blessed, Noel. This is all the railway collection of a guy named Keith up at the Dorrigo Railway Museum, and he reckons he can get all of those locomotives out of the way with about 2 weeks' notice. There is nobody on this planet more a dreamer than Keith from the Dorrigo Railway Museum. A lot of people don't like Keith, but I just have a pretty objective point of view on things. Keith's got a tank. Far out, run for the hills.
Welcome to Dorrigo, and thanks for sticking with me this far. We've made our way from the hot hinterland around Glenray up here to the cool climbs of the Dorrigo Plateau. Dorrigo Station behind me closed in 1979, long after the line became defunct in 1972. The location today is home to the Dorrigo Steam Railway and Museum, which houses one of the largest collections of railway rolling stock in the world, including 45 steam locomotives. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and share it with your mates. We'll see you in the next video. Catch you then.
Right, that's it. Stop that. Stop that. Keith Jones is his name, and he is the guy who originally started the museum. You can do some searches for Keith Jones and the Dorrigo Railway Museum. There is a lot of acrimony. There was a lot of stuff which went on about members' funds and Keith and how it was all managed, and what happened with members' funds and stuff. That's been going on for ages, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted to meet Keith up there. I deliberately sort of hung around because I could see him up in the house there watching us. And I knew that if I hung around for long enough, he'd come down and talk to us, and he did. And I've told you that before, like, there goes my light. Bloody hell. Shit, that's not good. No, my lovely internet light, streaming light thing just ran out of power. So you're stuck with this for the rest of the stream. G'day, Wilbur. Welcome aboard. I seem to remember Keith mentioning something about that as well, about these being some of the locos that were parked on that bridge. It's such a beautiful part of the world, Dorrigo. I would seriously retire up there any day of the week. If someone said, "Oh, look, man, that's it. You got to retire up Dorrigo," I'd be like, "Sign me up." Yeah, or, maybe I should have charged it, because I looked at it and went, it was half full. And it was fine last week, but anyway, that's all part of the fun. And now we've come to nearly the end of the stream. So I want to thank everybody for coming on board tonight. Yes, I know it's 9:45 in New South Wales at the moment, so it's getting a bit late. I hadn't actually anticipated doing all of that video. I thought we might get through some of it, but and I was honestly interested as to whether or not people had actually seen that video before. It's really interesting when you've been doing a YouTube channel for... Thank you so much for coming on board, Boeing Expert. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, sir. There will be, I don't know if we'll be doing a new video in the Coffs area. I'll lay out some of the plans at some stage as to what I'm doing, although I think pretty much people know what the plans are in terms of me heading up to northern New South Wales soon. Check out the posts where I kind of put a map there as well. We're heading to the end of the stream. I did have some other things to maybe share, but you know what, we've gone 45 minutes now, and I'm kind of in, maybe I'm just getting over COVID or something, land. I'm not really sure, and to be honest, I'm just so pleased that the videos actually work tonight. Yeah, later, Boeing. Sam Town 2002 as opposed to the Sam Town 2003 version. This one's slightly more old school than that. I didn't see the red moon. Was it red? The funny thing about living in, well, anywhere really, is you read on the media that there's going to be something happening tonight in the sky, and I kind of walk outside and you're like, oh, it's cloudy. Yeah, well, fuck that. Oh, thanks. No, appreciate that. And that's kind of what I want to do. It's interesting when you've had a YouTube channel for ages and you look back on some of your old videos and you see how far things have come since then. And I was only just remarking today at the meeting I was at, it's interesting how sometimes when I go back to a place that I've been to before, I can dig a little bit deeper and go into things again. And what I find is that there's a lot of the people who have come on board to the channel in the last year or so, and it's fair enough. People don't go back to watch all of the stuff that I've done in the last 2 or 3 years. It just, think about it. Like when I, find a channel, I don't necessarily go back and watch the entire back catalogue. So it's interesting that somehow that can't necessarily be relied upon. So I'm working on that. I have been awake at 4 a.m. on the odd Monday before, but not this one, unfortunately. It's raining, and apparently, Midwest New South Wales, or even far west New South Wales, right through the centre of Australia, just got a massive dumping of rain over the last few days. So, and they're predicting more of the La Nina to come over the next few months. So that will be interesting to see. Maybe it's very timely that they're putting a barge over the Cooper Creek. Maybe that's part of the reason why they're finally spending $1.5 million to put a barge again on the Cooper Creek at Inaminka, because they kind of realise that this shit's going to be cut off for a while now, so they probably better put something in there. Anyway, that's it for now, folks. We're at the that's all, folks, and I kind of bring that up when we're sort of around 5 minutes into the end of Good Chats for this week. Just to, if you've got anything you want to jump in there and you want me to look at next week, let me know, or if there's any other bold statements you want to make to the chat as well. I want to thank everybody for coming on board tonight, from the original lurkers like JK and Steve Klink. Who are we missing tonight? Oh, John Wayman, you're not missing. You're one of the original lurkers too. We're missing O'Malley tonight. We're missing Max Hobby. I hope you guys are in the replays. Shouts out to all the replayers. Oh, Josh. Always, I'll be here every week, man, till the end of YouTube, and I hope you are too. Thank you, Josh, for all of your support over the years. It is always interesting, the community that is building here around Outdoors Type. Now, did I mention memberships again? I'm going to mention them one more time because I have to. Well, I don't really have to. But like I said, if anyone's going to become a member of Outdoors Type, then now would be the time, because I get paid an inordinately more amount of money than I usually would when people become a member. So it would make sense to do that between now and the 5th of October is when that incentive runs out. So yeah, it gives me a pretty good reason to kind of tout memberships a bit between now and then, to be honest with you. And I'm only just sort of stepping into the world of memberships. I'll be right honest with you. I'll pop in some behind the scenes videos, and I'll add extra value to it as things go by. Oh, thanks, Zach. I super appreciate it. Smart as Marbles has an awesome outlook on things. I look forward to maybe seeing actually you guys and Van Couple down at the Railway Museum. We'll work something out for this weekend, all right? Thank you so much for all your support, Noel, as well, and all your images. Keep reminding me as well when you do. I'll have to find a way, and maybe you can help me find a way to introduce some of your travels to the wider audience here on Outdoors Type, whether I do that through a video or whether I do that through the live stream here. You might be able to help us. Yeah, all right, Dan, Amber, and Archer, if you're still out there. It's a bit late, Archer, if you're still out there. Then, yeah, cool. All right, Sunday, we'll work something out. This has been Good Chats for week 149, albeit without the hat. I forgot the hat. I just noticed that. Thank you, everyone, for coming on board. We'll see you next week. Bye.